Notre Dame, the time is now. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis of the game we all love. Because of your contribution, please subscribe. Hit the like button, even if you don't agree with me. If you enjoy what we do in breaking down college football, please hit the like button. And, of course, subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. Hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live, which is all the time, including a 3-hour live stream when the news broke about USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten. It's now official with Washington and Oregon also applying for membership. But let's get to the matter of the Big Ten. They have made a bold move, a significant move, and for a number of reasons, it's a bigger move, even though collectively the two teams currently are not as good as Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC. This shakes up the college football world even more. It's becoming an SEC versus Big Ten world. Where does that leave Notre Dame? Notre Dame, of course, plays 5 or 6 ball games each year in a 12-game schedule against the ACC. Notre Dame is currently a member of the ACC in all of its other sports, and football wanted to maintain football independence, to maintain a national audience, a national landscape, a national brand. Now is the time, though, for Notre Dame to jump to the Big Ten. These are the reasons why. Number one, money. Everything is being moved by money, and that's just the real world. That's just business. It is not good ultimately for college football. It's not good for the entire landscape of the sport, but all of these conferences are acting independently and autonomously. There is not a commissioner of college football to act in the best interest of the entire sport. Therefore, the conferences are acting in their best interest as single individual conferences. That's why the Big Ten is countering the SEC by grabbing USC and UCLA, and USC and UCLA want to make the most money possible. Therefore, they're jumping to the Big Ten. Washington, Oregon see themselves as viable candidates for the Big Ten, and they're on a sinking ship. Therefore, they're going where the money is, to the Big Ten. Notre Dame is self-sufficient right now, and it's a tremendous football brand and program, and historically, arguably the best, historically. But we are in 2022, and even though Notre Dame profited $72 million in 2018, the last report that I can find regarding profit, Notre Dame's TV contract with NBC, which runs out in 2025, nets at only $15 million annually. NBC, unless it picks up a contract and possibly could be negotiating with the Big Ten, Notre Dame and the NBC contract needs to end unless NBC can offer more. And I just don't mean more money. I mean more exposure. It's not a college football network. It shows us one game, one team, half the season. Therefore, college football traffic is not finding its way to NBC. This has been proven through the college football. The ratings, yes, if Notre Dame's playing Clemson and it's on NBC, it's going to attract a great audience. But $15 million per year is less than half of what the other teams in the ACC are earning, $33 million at last count, individually, and far less than everybody else, even in the Big 12 and what was the Pac-12. So Notre Dame at some point is going to be pushed by money. They are going to be motivated by money. To date, they have been able to justify their position based on wanting a national brand with a national schedule on the national landscape and to be completely unique. I understand that Notre Dame wants to keep its unique status in college football, but the time has come with super conferences forming that Notre Dame is going to have to join. BYU, the last remaining independent with what could be considered Power 5 status, has joined the Big 12. Therefore, there are no other independents left in college football other than some completely irrelevant programs like New Mexico State and UMass. Liberty joining a conference. Notre Dame will be by itself. And I know that it takes great pride in being the lone independent. The power struggle, the arms race is on. And this is either going to culminate with 4 big major conferences or 2 super mega conferences. And would Notre Dame survive in that structure? yes, they would survive. They're such a big brand and a worthy opponent for anyone. Could they sit outside the two major mega leagues of 32 teams and survive and try to build a schedule with a non-conference slate against those two conferences? Yeah, they could probably make it. But more and more, as we head in this direction, those two conferences could force Notre Dame to do something maybe that it's not in its best interest a year or 2 or 3 years from now. Notre Dame has the power and the leverage to act now. If this becomes 2 32-team leagues or 4 16-team conferences, then Notre Dame's going to be at the mercy of these conferences. And their scheduling is going to be impacted, and it's going to be dictated to them by these conferences if they so choose. So it is time to act now, make more money, select where you want to be. Don't be forced into a schedule. Don't be forced into a situation in college football on the landscape. Notre Dame, you can choose what you want to do now. Do you want to join the ACC? Then join the ACC. There is some question as to whether the ACC is going to last. Now that the Big Ten has counterpunched the SEC, will the SEC take the next move, which would most likely, in my opinion, be Clemson, Florida State, Miami, all 3 or 1 or 2 of the 3, and then that leaves the ACC in an extremely vulnerable position. And then maybe, as rumored at times, going back to last summer after the Texas-Oklahoma move, that the Big Ten would go after North Carolina and Virginia. That could be something right there. Or maybe nothing is off the table, nothing is ridiculous, that the SEC or the Big Ten would jump all the way to Florida and go after Florida State and Miami. So Notre Dame needs to act before they are boxed into a situation that's not to its best interest. And why not make 50 or 55 or $60 million? Or you know what? More than that, if you join not the ACC Notre Dame, but do what the football has dictated. The football and the money, that should be enough, has dictated to Notre Dame for decades now. And I understand, Notre Dame fans, your status of being left out of the Big Ten for decades had nothing to do with your decision. We understand what the vote was. We understand what Michigan's vote was. We get ancient history. But there is no longer any slight on Catholics, and we understand that the Big Ten would probably take a much different position here in 2022 in taking in one of the top 5 football brands in the country. Notre Dame and the Big Ten are a natural fit. And if the SEC was able to take what was a $55 to $70 million payout per team based on the revenue distribution from television over the past couple of years, add Oklahoma and Texas, and even though the money gets distributed amongst 2 other clubs, the estimates right now are that the SEC will be able to pay each team upwards of $90 to $95 million. The Big Ten is currently negotiating a contract in a TV deal that it's not a coincidence that it's been delayed and taken a long time, because now USC and UCLA are in the fold. The Big Ten obviously knew that and was putting off the TV networks, or was working with the TV networks. And now with the addition of Notre Dame, possible, if the SEC with 16, including Oklahoma and Texas, and the Big Ten having connection with, I'm not going to say ownership of the New York City market because of Rutgers. That would be foolish to state. But the Big Ten at least has connection to the 3 largest markets in the country: New York, Chicago, Northwestern, now Los Angeles, with 2 teams, the 2 teams, USC and UCLA, that the Big Ten will be able to demand. The conference already brings in the best TV ratings at the top of the conference, not the whole of the conference. That's still the SEC, but at the top of the conference, Ohio State, Michigan, most notably also Penn State, Wisconsin to a certain extent, the best TV ratings in college football. Now LA is brought in. The Big Ten is going to demand and be able to secure a enormous billion-dollar TV deal, and Notre Dame could be part of that. Notre Dame has the history, the tradition, the brand, the prestige, and actually the geography, which I understand doesn't matter in college football anymore, but it matters to me and it matters to many. Notre Dame is sitting right in the middle of Big Ten country. And the brand of Notre Dame, the history of Notre Dame reeks Big Ten. If you've been watching college football for decades, you know that there's connection, there's history, there are strong ties between Notre Dame and the Big Ten, and just the brands fit. Notre Dame, Michigan, they've got a 42-game series. Michigan leads 25-17. Against Michigan State, actually, Notre Dame and Michigan State have played 76 times. Irish lead 47-29. And against Purdue, who would have thought that Notre Dame and Purdue have played the most against a Big Ten team? 83 times, with Notre Dame winning 57 of the 83. Ohio State and Notre Dame get together this season in Columbus, next year in South Bend. Notre Dame in the Big Ten would bring massive attention and audience and viewership to cable and digital. Notre Dame, join the Big Ten. Do it now before college football tells you what to do. Make your own way, make your own decision, and jump to the Big Ten. Also consider that the playoff proposal that was set out last summer by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, even though it was denied, you got to think that the playoff proposal, the one that's finally going to go through, is going to be some kind of semblance of what we saw proposed last summer. That includes conference championship teams get buys. That excludes Notre Dame. Another incentive, it's going to be easier entry into the college football playoff, and it's going to be higher status within the college football playoff as a conference champion. Notre Dame, do it. Join the Big Ten. Make the move before the move is made for you. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football.